guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have been really preparing myself to really watch Demi Lovato's Simply Complicated, which just was recorded back in 2017, and this one goes for an hour and 18 minutes. Now I'm actually reviewing both of these, and I've already watched one, and there's just so many emotions that when you watch this, you really understand why you have such a massive and amazing connection with Demi Lovato. And when I started to watch this, I already started to cry, and at the end I started to cry, and I just ruined my eye makeup as well, which I will just check some photos up for you guys to prove that I was crying. But this is such a wonderful documentary, and as you can see at the start of this video, I did make a massive warning sign before doing this review. So if you have any symptoms of mental health, any mental health disorder symptoms like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, possible eating disorders that you probably have not actually become to overcome, please pause this video, breathe, because I'm going to go in a lot of detail for this entire documentary, and it's very, very full on, and I'll be also sharing my story within this as well. But here we go. So when you start to watch this, you will feel all the emotions, you will want to cry. I definitely understand how Demi was growing up, you know, having her parents separated, probably fighting. My dad was an alcoholic or into drugs, and I know that, but over this recent year I did find out that alcohol and drug abuse actually runs through my father's side of the family, which I actually did not personally know, but it was great to have that information. So to my aunt, thank you so much for telling me that. Another thing, you know, that I really can really highly understand is definitely how very hard the mental health battle has been. You know, how the pressures of having a acting and music career very, very young, with her Barney and Friends, Camp Rock, and all her Disney roles. And I understand how pre-pressured she was when she was just a teenager, because when you're a teenager you get so pressured when it comes to schoolwork, friends, family, and so much more as well. And sometimes it can be into drugs or alcohol, and how young people do actually abuse that, which is very, very, very highly true. Going on, when Demi was 18 years old, that's when she entered treatment, and it's actually the same sort of journey I had when I was 18 as well. Mind you, I was a little bit more younger when I was starting to go through, you know, depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and even with my own personal eating disorder that I still suffer on a daily basis with, which started when I was only 13, and it's very hard to talk about because it's just so true. Throughout this whole documentary, she talked about how she was very highly bullied in school, and how her eating disorder actually did really start, and how she left as well, which we'll come back to that as well. So when she was originally filming the Staying Strong documentary, she was on drugs. And she admitted that from the get-go. She admitted about talking about alcohol, about her experience with her drug substance abuse and her addiction, and how her dad was actually addicted to alcohol and drugs, and it's one of the reasons why her mum could not be with her father anymore. And And that's very reasonable as well. You know, we don't want to be around someone like that, and I completely understand where her mum's coming from. She was definitely pre-pressured as a teen. She went through anxiety. She was a role model at such a young age. Her in 2009, her health crisis starts with anger, depression, anxiety, difficult to work with, on drugs and alcohol. She had mood swings, and because of the drugs and alcohol, she had blackouts. And I do get that as well. Even if it's something major or little happened, you know, I can't actually really remember it, and that is your brain blocking it out because it's saying that you're not ready to deal with that yet. And that's what I go through too. So she was 18 when she entered treatment in 2010 for her behavior and her emotional issues, and she was there for 12 months. While she was there, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. When she first came out, she was not sober at all because it was very difficult for her, and she was on drugs. She was on a suicide path, which is very true with a lot of artists and people. She didn't want to feel anything. She was also committed in that time as well when she was first out. She would lie just to get what she wanted, and at a certain point her entire team had to have a massive intervention, and they say that if you don't get better or something like that, they will leave, like how her suicide was in 2018, which I will talk more about in my celebrity talk, where I already do sit and really talk about it as well. For the first year, she was 19, living in a sober house. In the documentary, she really talked about her relationship with Wilmer Formorama. Hopefully I got his name right. If I didn't, I apologize. And they're 6 years together. After when they broke up, she was talking about how she was dependent for the first time on her own place, and how she was coming up to 5.5 years of sobriety while filming at the time. She did talk about her eating disorder and how she did relapse, and how her relationship with food, she felt ashamed, and she did say how Wilma actually helped her stop purging for 3 years. And you can definitely see how much Wilma really did help her for all of her years in her relationship. And even though they came to a mutual decision to break up with each other, which I sort of understood and understand in many different ways. And when she was filming this, she did admit to her manager that she relapsed, and she was very candid and very honest, and that is just a very big thing for a person to, you know, admit, and then try not to feel ashamed of themselves. Because I remember when I relapsed last year, when I was drinking alcohol out of spite, because I was fighting with my mom and my aunt at the time. I didn't eat anything, I drank it, and I legit felt sick afterwards, and I know that I should not be doing that, but that's just how I felt. And I recognize how she felt so ashamed, and just when recording this and after her overdose, and just thinking, fuck, I fucked up, you know. And we shouldn't be ashamed. And I completely just understand how she feels. Continuing on, she was bullied at 12, and she had social anxiety. She was suicidal. She had a petition made at school about her committing suicide, which is horrible. And if this still happens today, you guys are idiots. Don't ever do that, because now you can actually be held accountable from someone committing suicide, which I'm glad those laws are coming in. as it continues, as after she left school, you know, that's when she really started her eating disorder. Her mum found a diary on how she was supposed to look and how she looked up to stars like Amy Winehouse and many other artists who have horrible health issues, and how she was trying to be that way herself. And when you see the documentary, you can see how she's getting and slowly getting possible anorexia, so many eating disorders that intertwine with that, where can be very hurtful as well. As you go through watching this whole documentary, you see her family talks, her sisters, her mum, her management, her friends, everyone that talked in the documentary, even when she was working on her 6th album, which was Tell Me You Love Me album. And you get to hear songs like You Don't Do It For Me Anymore, Daddy Issues Only Forever, Ready For Ya, Smoke and Mirrors, Sexy, Dirty Love, Game, Sorry Not Sorry, Tell Me You Love Me, and you get to hear some other songs as well. So Give Your Heart a Break, and also Stone Cold, and including Paramore, Misery Business, which is actually one of my most favorite songs. And I'm also covering some of these songs as well, which is pretty amazing and cool. For the rest of her documentary, out of her journey and her recovery, she talks about she talks about her friends, family, herself, her fitness, how working out is a form of meditation to her. She talks about her sexuality, how she finds herself, which you can definitely go watch that. How it is to date again, how she was homeschooled, how she was actually enjoying her life in 2017 before her overdose in 2018, which we will talk about in the celebrity talk that I am currently doing, which will go into more detailed. She embarked in her tour, Tell Me That You Love Me tour, loving her Lovato, how she talked about how music has saved her life, motivated her, inspired, how she helped herself, her fans, and others, and proving others wrong, that she is worth it, and that she's coming out more stronger than before, and how her music has helped her emotionally, how powerful it truly is, and even more. And this whole doco is very powerful. You know, it took me 2 to 3 days to actually watch this, because I didn't know how I would really react to it. Because there's many ways, you know, I really relate to her. You know, if I didn't have music, I would have had, you know, ended my life even sooner. And her music is so powerful and incredible and so emotional, you know. You just can't help it but cry and getting into the rhythm, dancing, you know. And that's how her music has inspired me, you know. When I did Skyscraper, how very emotional I was when I was actually singing that song, especially with, you know, Warrior, where so many other songs that I've covered of her, even her Sober song as well. So much powerful, and how she's overcoming so much more. It's very important that not only that friends, parents, you know, everyone in your family and people who you're around, like teachers, need to understand how much bullying can actually affect someone, how domestic violence can actually hurt someone, being abused, you know, being through all of those traumatic things that I've also been through. You know, we need to start trying to, you know, really talk about this, because it's so heavily important, guys. So to close on this, overall, the doco is very powerful. It's so inspiring, you know, for me to keep going, because I'm celebrating my 8 years this year. Last year was my 7th year, which was so highly tough for me. And with more and more and more as I go by the day, and seeing counselors, you know, saying to myself, no, you are worth it, you're not a burden, you know, it makes me so much more powerful. And I recommend everyone watching this. I will share this on all my social medias, telling you to go watch this. Just be cautioned when you do watch it, but just get ready to cry and feel so much feeling in how Demi has overcome so much to where she is now. It's just, you know, incredible. So I would rate this an immediate 10 out of 10. It's just incredible. It's so amazing. Thank you all so much for joining me for this very long review. I will be going to reviewing the director's cut of Demi Lovato, Simply Complicated, and that's for an hour and 28 minutes. Now, I had to get premium to be able to watch this as well, but I hope you all are okay. I will link the video to my celebrity talk of Demi Lovato. I'll link that, and I'll also link a celebrity talk reference to basically everything Demi Lovato, how she has survived, including to both of these documentaries, and including all the videos I've ever done on Demi Lovato will also be in the annotation at the end of this video. Thank you so much for joining me. All of my social media, my website, and all of my YouTube series links are all down below, and please go support Demi. You know, she's recovering. She's been sober for a year, which is excellent. She's going to focus on herself, and you should do that too. I love you all, and I'll catch you all for the next YouTube original series reviews, which will be coming up very, very soon.